Okay guys, let's move on to this question. It says to measure sum, create a function that takes an integer array and return the biggest between positive sum, negative sum, or zeros count. The measure is understood as the greatest absolute. Okay, looks easy enough I guess. All numbers are integers, there aren't any empty arrays. Okay, let's move on to our code now. Let's delete all of these. Delete these as well. And first, what I need to do, I need to of course create an array. Why is that? I need to put my input in there. Let me just copy and paste this and call my method here. Let's just change this to sum again, sum and integer. And this takes an array of course, integer array, and we're calling our method sum. It's my array value here. Okay, now we are done with our main method. Now let's move on to my sum method, and what I need to do, I need to first count my positive number sum, basically positive numbers. So basically I'm gonna create positive number sum, negative numbers sum, then I'm gonna count what? I'm gonna count my zeros, so zeros sum. I need to create 3 integer variables. Let's create all of them. Positive number sum, negative number sum, then again zeros number sum, zero sum basically. So I'm doing what? I'm counting the positives, negatives, and zeros. Now what I need to do, first I need to create a loop. Why is that? Because I want to get every item in this array. So basically I want to check every variable, every value in this array. How am I going to do that? I'm just going to create an for each loop. For that, this is the easiest one. So I'm just going to copy this array and paste this here. Now, what I need to check for? I need to check if this item is bigger than 0 or not. Actually, is it bigger than 0? Or is it equal to 0? Or is it less than 0? I need to check these 3 variables, right? These 3 arguments. So let's check them. Let's say if that item is bigger than 0. So basically, if it's a positive, what are we going to do? We are going to do what? We are going to add that item to my positive numbers sum here. Let's just say pn sum and item. Now, what I need to check for? I need to check if it is smaller than 0. Item smaller than 0, it's going to be nn sum item. Then I need to check what? I need to check for if it is equals to 0. So basically if I just write as, this means technically if item equals to 0. This technically means that, right? So I'm just gonna do what now? I'm just gonna write, actually this isn't zero sum, this is the zeros count. Let's just fix that variable name. Does it matter? It doesn't matter, as long as we get our correct value here, but let's just change that. Now, what I need to check for, I need to check for, of course I need to first came out of the loop, then I need to check for which is bigger. Basically I'm talking about pnum sum, nn sum, and zero count. So I need to check which of these 3 variables are bigger, which is the biggest technically. So how can I do that? I can just write if arguments and check all of them, right? But what I need to do, this n sum is going to be what? This n sum is going to be negative. But I need to check what? I need to check its absolute value. So I need to first transform this to absolute value before we are checking. So I'm just going to write if, let's just check for the positives and negatives first. Let's just say pn sum bigger or equal than, it doesn't matter if it's equal, I can just return pn sum or nn sum. I'm just gonna write math absolute nn sum. Then of course I'm going to close this parenthesis. Then I'm just gonna check for what? If pn sum bigger than nn sum, this is the biggest among those two, so I need to compare this with what? With the zero count. So basically I'm just going to write if p and sum bigger or equal than zero count, return p and sum. Why is that? Because that's the biggest one. If it's not, that basically means the zero count is bigger than n and sum, and technically this zero count also bigger than p and sum. So I'm gonna return zero count here. Then I'm just gonna write if this p and sum isn't bigger or equal than n and sum, what that means, this means n and sum is bigger than p and sum, right? So I'm gonna write this like this. First I'm gonna write else, of course, then I'm gonna check this n and sum with this zero count. So I'm just gonna write if math absolute n and sum, of course, n and sum is bigger or equal than zero count, what will be the return value that I'm gonna use here? I'm gonna return my nm value. Why is that? Because that's the biggest one, if this argument is true. But if it's false, so what will happen? This zero count means the biggest one, right? Why is that? Because n and sum is bigger than p and sum in this else part. If this n and sum isn't bigger or equal than the zero count, basically means this is the biggest one. So I'm just gonna return that in the else part. Return zero count. And I think we should be good, right? We are returning our values, we assign those, and we are printing here. Okay, let's start our program here. And as you can see, we are getting the -27 here. Let's check for the other examples. Like you can see, we are getting the -27 here. Let me copy this and paste this here. We need to get 10. And as you can see, we are getting the result of 10. And again, let me copy and paste this. We need to get 5. And as you can see, we are getting the value of 5 here, guys. So now, let's move on to our next question. Okay, it says get the century. Create a function that takes in a year and returns the correct century. All these will be between 1000 and 2010. Okay, easy enough. I can just easily copy this. Now, let me come here and delete all of these. Then these, of course. So, what I need to do, first I need to create an integer value, right, for the years. So basically I'm just gonna put year and write my input there. Then I need to call my method. Let's just call it in our console write-line command. Let's just say date here. Date, send my year in it, and end. Okay, we are done with our, actually let me change this to year again. Okay, we are done with our main method here, so let's continue with this date method. Also delete this. Now what I need to do, first of all, I want to get these two numbers here. I want to get these two numbers. Why is that? Because century means basically what century is this year? It's going to be the 18th century, right? So basically what are we going to do? We are going to take these two numbers and add +1 to it. So I want to do that. How am I going to take the 17 here? If I just divide this number with 100, I can easily get that 17 number. So for that, I'm going to create another integer called fake year and assign that to year divided by 100. And I'm going to add +1. So basically this number's value will be mean our century. Now I'm going to create a string variable of this. Why? Because I need to return a string value. So basically I need to return what now? I need to return 18th century. So basically I'm just going to transform this to string. Let's just string underscore fake year equals to what's my fake years to string. Then I'm just going to create another string called full year, full date, or it doesn't really matter, full date. So we are just going to return our 18th century, or basically assign our 18th century in here. Then I'm just going to return my full dates variable there. Now I need to do what? I need to create if arguments. So what are we looking for? We have our 19th century is 19, so basically we have the number value in there, but as you may know, this 11 one calls 11th century, right? But in this one, in this 21 one, what does it call? It's 21st century, right? So this has the th, this has the st one. So I need to check for this. So basically what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna write my fake year remainder by 20 equals to 1, basically means it's going to be 21, and of course my dates range is, I think it was 1000 to 2010. Oh whoops, 2010. So we don't need to check for another years. I can just check for my 21st century. So I need to write this one and say, oh whoops, copy and paste this here. Okay. And I'm just gonna say, actually I need to add another string for that. Let's say for that and assign different value. Okay, now I'm gonna assign this value. What? I'm gonna assign it to st value. So if it is 21, this fake year, if this fake year is 21, so we need to call it 21st century. So basically I'm just gonna look for that st or th value here. So I'm just going to assign my th to st. Else, for now, for this example, be careful about it. This is for the 2010 year range. So I'm just going to assign it to now I'm gonna do what? I'm gonna return my full date. First I need to change this value, then return it. Let me just write full date is equals to what? My fake year, or basically not my fake year, my underscore fake year, and I think we had what? We had our century, 11th century, so we have our 2 here, then we have our what? Century, right? I think this should be it. Let me check it again. I think it's okay. Let's just return our full date here, then okay, I need to change string, of course. I am returning a string. Now let's just activate our program, start our program. Okay, I need to put a space here. Okay, and as you can see, we have what? We have our 18th century here. Let's write 2010 here. We need to get 21st century. And as you can see, we are getting that st value here. And any other, if I change it to any other value, like 1523, I need to get th here. And as you can see, I'm getting 16th century here, guys. And with this, guys, we came to the end of our question solving part, or basically mediums part. So from now on, we're going to solve questions with the hard level, guys. So we are moving on the hardest questions. But for now, thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys in our next C# lessons. Goodbye.